Okay, so trying to get some stuff done here. So, as you can see, we have an iMac. This isn't just any iMac, this is an iMac G5. So, this is my iMac G5 prototype, which is one of the only computers that I keep at the house. And, so, I want to put it has a regular 250 gig hard drive in it. So, I want to change that out with an SSD. But before I do that, I just want to do a couple benchmarks on the computer. Just for nothing better to do, but I'm just curious to see if there really is going to be a difference. The drive that we're going to install in the next video is going to be this PNY CS900 240 gigabyte drive. So we're only going to lose 10 gigabytes over the stock hard drive. The stock hard drive is 250 gig, and I lied. This actually has a 320 gig hard drive in it. So, but this is the drive we're going to put in. I've been using these drives for years, and they work really well for the price. So you can buy these at Best Buy or on Amazon. I'm sure you can buy them cheaper. But I have one of these 480 gig in my Mac Pro, and works beautiful. So, so we have a G5. Just for anybody who's new or forgets, this is a 20-inch iMac iSight. It's a 2.1 gigahertz PowerPC G5. It has 1.5 gigs of DDR2 RAM. Now, this is one of the latest G5 iMacs, so this has a lot more advanced technology than your typical iMac does. It has Bluetooth and FireWire. Bluetooth, FireWire, and Wi-Fi. But it also has a 128 meg ATI Radeon X600, which is actually on a PCI Express bus. So it is actually a true X16 PCI Express video card. Now, it's not the greatest video card, but it's going to be better than an AGP Pro card that, say, my iMac G5 Tower uses. So, for the SATA bus, it is a typical SATA 1 bus. So it's only what is it? 1.5 gigs per second, I believe, is the typical throughput. And then it does have an ATA DVD burner in it as well, which works. So, other than that, it's your typical iMac, you know. So, we got two benchmark programs here. I hope you guys can see the screen okay. I can't do a screen capture on this machine too well. I have OpenMark and I have Xbench, which are both designed for PowerPC Macs. So, what we're going to do is, see about just a hair. We're going to run the entire suite of Xbench tests on this machine. So, I've never run this before, so I'm not exactly sure how long this takes. It seems to be doing pretty good. And if I remember correctly, this program benchmarks, this is for PowerPC G series machines, and it benchmarks everything against a dual, I think a dual 2 gigahertz G5, an actual dual processor G5. So, whenever you see something that's lower than 100, it's slower than that machine. If you see it over 100, it's faster. So, the main thing I've never actually run a benchmark on here, but the main thing I'm interested in is mainly the disk test, which is actually what it's doing right now. Which actually is pretty impressive on the sequential. It's 220 on uncached rates at 135 megs a second and 110 megs a second and with 256K blocks. That's actually pretty quick for one of these old machines. Now random, I mean, yeah, when you get down into 4K blocks, it drops down to 1.67 megs a second. But when it's only writing, and this is uncached random, 178%, but it's writing 57.17 megs at 256K blocks. That's actually not too bad for this particular machine. We can go up here to the top. We can see we're running Tiger. We have 1.5 gigs of memory. The PowerMac G5 at 2.10 gigahertz. And we have a Western Digital to 320 gig hard drive. It's a old Caviar, I think. So, the CPU test is so overall it's 84.56. So it's slightly slower than a dual processor G5, which I expected. I never expected this thing to be anywhere close to a dual processor. It's only a one processor. It's only 2.1 gigahertz. So, but some of the more advanced technology, it does give it a little bit of an advantage in certain aspects. So, but as CPU test, I mean, it's actually testing at 119.97 percent. So that's actually slightly better than a dual processor G5. But the disk tests are basically what I was interested in. So, we got 179.47 on the sequential and 47.38 on the random. So it's actually slower than a dual processor G5 on the random. So with random tests, I mean those will kill any machine. So. I'm just going to submit these just for no better reason. I don't even know if the server is supposed to be submitting to is even around anymore. This program is probably so old. Yeah, this is from 2006. So, something tells me that, whoops. Oh, I have to force quit. Okay, we're not going to be able to quit. Guess we'll have to see if it times out. Might just have to force quit. Whoops. What? There we go. Sorry for the wobbly machine. This table that I'm using is pretty crappy. So, let's quit all unnecessary app. I didn't even realize I had 10.4 Fox open. So we'll do an open mark here. And this is more for the video. And this actually has pretty good video on it for considering, how old it is. So, but you can basically see the more triangles you put on the screen, the slower the video card gets. And it looks like around, the ideal one is 60 frames per second. So. Looks like we can do 839,000 triangles. So the next video, this is just a quickie. The next video is going to be actually cracking the machine open, I already have the hard drives backed up. So the next video is going to be cracking the machine open and actually replacing the drive. This is going to be a three-parter because I don't want these videos to be too terribly long. This computer is a nightmare to take apart. I mean, it took me almost an hour to get it apart last time. So the next video, and I need my tripod too, and I don't have that here. So the next video is going to be me actually tearing this machine apart and replacing the SSD, the hard drive, with an SSD, and then I'll do one final video where we run the benchmarks again and see how good the hard drive does then. I think on the random reads and writes, it's going to shoot up significantly because of not having the mechanical factor. So, questions or comments, leave them below. Let me know. So, until next time.